Hello everyone, how are you? And welcome to the channel again. Today's video all about camera tracking inside of Nuke. Let's jump into the Nuke and let's get started. Okay, so here are some footages that I have downloaded from Mixit. You can easily grab some free good footages, good quality footages actually. So it's HD 1080. Okay, three of them is 1080. Okay, so it will be very basic things, but you will learn a lot of things, I think. Okay, so definitely it's not a advanced stuff, it's basically pretty basic stuffs. So let's talk about that. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is press S. Okay, and I'll just simply get that format correct. Okay, so it is HD. Okay, 1920 1080. So I'm gonna put that there. All right, so the second thing I'm gonna do is we will work for inputs, not global. So global is basically equating these three together, but we're gonna see this separately. So we will have definitely different timelines and frames. Okay, so by the way, I'm using Nuke 13.2 probably. So it has a lot of different shortcuts. For example, if I wanna disconnect this one, so I can just sec it and it will disconnect. Okay, so sometimes I will do that. So just make sure that you understand. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'll just take this footage here. Okay, so it's a simple footage, no external motion happening, it's just a panning thing. So it has a lot of frames as like 312. Okay, so we definitely track those part. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do, I'll just take a backdrop here. You should give your comp some backdrops to just make it visible that where all those nodes are, or where exactly have you put all those nodes together for different kind of work. So it is very good practice to have in your mind. So basically get a backdrop. So I'm gonna put it as scan plates. Okay, so basically this will be your scan plates always. Okay, and this is the plate. Okay, the first thing first, what you're gonna see before you gonna track it, the red, green, blue channels. Okay, so we will look for the blue channels because we wanna see that what kind of noise do we get here. Okay, so if you zoom in, yeah, definitely the pixel quality is not that great, but it is okay. But yeah, sort of noises are there. So what we can do, we will go for denoise stuff. Okay, so just take a denoise. Okay, if you have any another script kind like need video, so yes, you can go for it. Okay, so that is a very good gizmo that you can see. One more stuff, you can render it out for better performances, because sometimes the denoise is heavy for a comp. Okay, so it's actually calculating the thing and then providing all those output. So it is a good practice to have rendered out your plate as denoise, but for now we will use this here because it's not gonna be so heavy. Okay, so after denoise, so what you're gonna get is this warning. So basically it's not getting analyzing. So I'll just put it here. For me it's a good place to put the denoise analyzer. Okay, so it will analyze your noise and it will denoise it eventually. Fine. So I think you got that point that some of the noises is getting clear. Okay, so I can definitely increase the region and just take this region and make it performs better, give it some more sample to provide you better look or better denoise stuff. Okay, definitely if you want you can just go for the amount as well. You can just make it higher, but it's gonna be smoother. Okay, so let me put something like 8, so it's gonna be smoother. As you can see, definitely we don't need that much of smooth because we need little contrasty stuff also. So we will go around like 2 for now, maybe 1.5 for now. Okay, definitely you can tone it down here. Okay, next is I'm gonna get a camera tracker. So the first thing I'm gonna show you that how we track. Okay, so that will be your source, by the way. Okay, so as you can see, this is your source that will be connected directly here, and I'm gonna just put 2 here so it is little easier to understand. Okay, so the first thing you can get is the source. Is it a still, is it a sequence, what? So definitely it's a sequence. About mask I'm gonna talk it about later. Okay, so next is range. Range is depends what you wanna do, like global, custom, reference frame. So the basically the option is for like custom. If you just say okay, I wanna do it like from 1 to 100 or from 1 to 200, that will be better. Okay, so you can go for it. You can also go for like for 312 as well. So we will do that for whole frame. Okay, so I'm not gonna go for custom, so I'll just put that to input. So it will always look for the inputs and inputs frame range, the original range here. Okay, so the next thing is called camera. So it says camera motion. What kind of camera motion it does have? So it has a rotation value, free camera, planar motion, and you do have linear motions as well. So there are there are some movements basically for the camera, like dolly in, pan, tilt, a lot of things. So according to me, it is a tripod panning stuff. So we can go for free camera as well as go for a rotation only as well. So basically it is asking for what sort of movement you are actually getting here. According to you, just put it here. Okay, so it's a linear motion as well, but linear motion it used for a different reason as well. So I'm not gonna explain it here right now. We can explain it later on, later tutorials as well. Okay, so basically we can go for this rotation only, or just keep it free camera. It will automatically calculate what kind of things as. Okay, that's it. And next is lens distortion. I'll post another tutorial on the lens distortion stuff here, but not today. Okay, because it's all about the tips and tricks that we use for camera tracks. So for now I'm not gonna explain this one. Basically the bending of light creates a distortion to the side here. Okay, so that's your lens distortion stuff. So we will get into that later on, okay, in later videos. The focal length, basically I don't know really what focal length is this. So you can go for metadata stuff here. You can find the detail of that camera. Because it is not a raw one, it is compressed as well. So if you are in production, yes, there will be all the informations like lenses, what focal length is and all, everything, every single metadata you will be getting. So basically what we have next is focal length. So really I don't know actually what focal length is, but definitely I will be explaining all those things. Okay, so the first thing, the focal length is like known. So if you press known, so you need to put that, okay, the value, the length value. Okay, what lens has been used. The next is approximately approximate varying. So it's basically you will know that okay, this might be the right thing or maybe not. so you can go for this varying stuff. And what varying and constant is basically, if the footage is zooming in, zooming out constantly, so you can just go for varying, so it has a different varying focal length. Okay, so the constant is basically, okay, the approximate length is like 35 mm, but it is constant, it's not zooming in or zooming out as well. Okay, so that time you can go for constant. And same for the unknown varying on the unknown constant. So according to my footage, I can easily go for unknown constant. Okay, the next one is called film backside. So it's basically the sensor that you are using. I don't know what sensor is it. Okay, so if you know that, like, you have maybe Canon, so you know the what camera you have used. Okay, what lenses you have used. If you have RAID, so what you have used for the RAID, or Sony, the font, or Phantom. So you do have some presets to get a proper film backside here. So that's basically the sensor. The next is basically analyze. Okay, so we need to analyze the footage here and with the tracker, but before analyzing, we're gonna jump into the settings first. Okay, so yes, there are some options for user track and definitely some options for auto track, so we will get into that later on. Okay, and let's go for the settings here first. So the first thing you can get is features. So now the feature is basically how many points do you want to have in your scene to track the camera properly. Okay, so what you're gonna do, so first thing, you can't see anything right now, right? So what I need to do is basically I'll preview it first of all. Okay, and next is the refined feature. That is pretty much I would recommend that to be on, because to be honest, it will really get proper places to be. Okay, so you can see it's moving from here to here. Okay, because it is the contrasted point, not that one. Okay, if you see here, you can see with the refined point, it is on the contrasted point, but if you are not locating that like refine that feature, so it is somewhere like here. Okay, so it is finding its best way to get all the tracks properly. The next one, how many features do we need to put here? What you're gonna do is, like, I wanna increase it. Suppose we have a little movement for the shot. Okay, there are not a lot of movements, it's just a movement like this only. Okay, so we really don't need a lot of points here. Okay, again, depends on the footage as well. The complexity is very important. So if there is a lot of complex situations coming in, so definitely we need to increase the point. If it is a pretty simple footage to work with, so it is really easy to access with like 150 or 200, maybe maximum 300 points will be good to go. But more the points, it will take time to calculate, but it will definitely give you lot of accuracy. Okay, so really I do want to increase it a little, so I'm gonna increase it like by scrolling up like this, or you can just type it here. So I'm gonna put it like somewhere 800. Why I'm taking 800? Because it's a long shot, it has a lot of information to get as well, so that is why I'm gonna increase it a little bit more, maybe 100,000 only. Okay, so I'll just put thousands, so it will have a lot of points here. So next is basically the detection threshold. Now what detection threshold does is, if you just decrease it, you can see it is kind of like spreading out. Okay, and if you just increase it, it's kind of like sticking together as well. Okay, so if you see here, it is doing the same thing as well, as you can see. If you just decrease it, it's gonna spread it. So the basically detection is for what? Detection is for the contrast point. Okay, so it's actually finding out those contrast point where it can stick and get the track proper. Okay, so the by default is 0.1, but yes, according to your footage, you can just decrease it, or you can also increase it. That's really up to you and the footage. but for now you don't need to decrease or increase it here. Okay, next is feature separation. So if you just decrease it, it's kind of like doing the same job as detection threshold, but not like that. Okay, so what it's actually calculating, it's calculating some sort of areas. For example, whenever I had 12, you might have some here you can see you do have some points here. Okay, but if I just decrease, it's actually grading the area, the actual area it wanna stuck with. Okay, that's what it's finding out. Okay, so if I just increase it, it is here just basically sticking together. Okay, so I'll just put it 12. 12 is basically a standard number for feature separations, but yes, you can go for maybe higher or lower. Okay, for now just keep it 12. The next is refine and preview, as I told. So next is called tracking. So minimum length and maximum length, smoothness. So we really don't want to check all of these things right now, because for the tracking we really don't need these things. Yeah, definitely sometimes, but for this kind of footage we really don't need to touch these things here. We will do that later on. Next is solving. So it will solve the motion of the camera, and definitely again what kind of camera you can see here. So you just put it for now free camera, because I do have free camera here as well. Okay, keyframe spacing, I can just keep it low as well to get proper track, or not the appropriate track. Okay, so I can keep it low a little bit more, or you can just go for the default as well, that is also fine. No smoothing, I don't need any smooth things. Okay, because camera should have the proper movement value. Otherwise, if you wanna put some card or something like that, definitely that gonna scale. Okay, so the next is reference frame. Reference frame is basically if you are finding out, like, yeah, this is the frame that I wanna work with my CG or with something else. Maybe I need to clean it up. Okay, clean up the plate and all, and this is the frame where it's keeping everything organized, and it's giving you the best view for you. So yes, you can just keep it as a reference point, and it will get all the references from all these features and all the informations, and it will try to match this for overall. Okay, so I'm not gonna set this out for now. Okay, so the next, I'll just come back to the camera tracker, and I'm gonna track it, the analyzer. Okay, so I'll just track it and I'll speed it up. Okay, for you guys to save some times as well. Okay, so we got our track. So basically you can see it's perfectly alright, and if you go and say just select any of these, you can see that length is like 312. So basically it says, okay, this track is there for like from 1 to 312. Okay, so if you go to 312 or 311 here, the track is here, as you can see. So the length is that. Okay, so you can see it says, okay, 116. Okay, because before that is not there. Okay, so the track is good to go. So the next step is basically solve. First of all, if I just press tab, you can see nothing here. Okay, but just let me solve it here. Okay, so here my track. So basically now if you just hop over to the to these green dots or green points here, so you can see a lot of information. So basically it says track length, the error ratio is like 0.445, which is pretty good actually, and it also says that the error, which is max error, okay, which is the 1.68, which is pretty good. So after this one, you just go to auto tracks for now, and you do have options here, and you do have options for like max error and the track error. Okay, so I would recommend to make it around like track error, definitely depending on your package as well. So for now I'll just keep it 2. Okay, and you can see a lot of points is not capable to getting enter for this filter, so those will be red. The max error I would put around like 4 maximum, so you can see more points are also joining them. Okay, so I'll just make sure that delete unsolved, okay, then delete rejected. Okay, just wait for some second to make it deleted, and make sure that rejected has been done as well. So just say yes, and it will delete all the unnecessary points out of that. Okay, so you will be only left with the green points. And definitely don't forget to use this focal length, position and rotation, and refine the solve after doing this kind of valuations. Okay, so I'm gonna refine the solve again, and yes, there is a point which is not capable with these settings. Okay, so I'm just gonna do it again, like delete unsolved, and then I'm gonna go to delete rejected, wait for the result and say yes, and it's gonna delete everything unnecessary here. Okay, so this is how we can get a track easily. Okay, as you can see, we get the track, and if you press tab, you can easily find a lot of point clouds. These are called point clouds basically. Okay, so you have a lot of point clouds as well. Okay, so we will talk about that point cloud later on but not for this part here, but we will talk about that later on, maybe in a separate video. Okay, so this is the end of the part 1, and I'll be posting the part 2 as well. So keep watching, subscribe the channel, share the channel, and share the video with your friends. Do comments, and definitely ask whatever you wanna ask. Okay, so I'll try to give you the answers as well. If you wanna have if you wanna request for some specific topic, you do comment on that as well. I'll definitely try to cover that out. Goodbye.